Hello people and welcome back to another lesson. Now in this one I thought I'd take an absolute classic I used to love as a teenager, Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. It's a simple tune, but there are complexities in it if you want to look for them. This is a great tune if you're a beginner or an intermediate guitarist, because there's some cool rhythmic stuff in there if you're an intermediate and you want to really nail it a bit closer to how it's played on the album. But if you're a beginner, then there's only like a handful of chords in it, and then you can just focus on building up a strumming pattern. But basically this is my memory of the tune, right? Into the verse, right? So if you played that to anyone, they know what you're playing, right? But let's start right at the very beginning, beginner level, so level 1, and then we'll build it up to closer to how it's actually played on the album, right? So if you already know part of this, then you may want to just skip through this stuff. But if you're a beginner, then stay with us. We have in this intro section, I'll go for the verse as well, but intro first, right? We have an E minor 7. With that shape. I'm not going to call out all the notes, but suffice to say, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4 in terms of my finger precisions. The second chord is a G. Just an open G. You play that a couple of times. E minor 7, then you go to an it's another E minor 7 but with A in the root. So all you're doing there is moving these two fingers. So you may have noticed already your third and fourth fingers are going to stay on those on the third fret on the B and E string, right? So all you're doing is moving your first two fingers around. So you've got that shape, that shape, that shape. Once you've learnt those chords and you're happy with them, you can then start to add in the melody line, right? So let's take a closer look now, and I'll run through a beginner version of this intro. 1, 2, 3. And then round again, okay? If you're an absolute beginner, right, some of the things you just need to remember are keep the chord shape, right, wherever. Don't start abandoning it and playing and then spending a load of time on the chords, right? Don't bother with that. Always think of it in terms of the chord shapes, right? So E minor 7, G, E minor 7 with A in the bass. So all you're doing is making sure those two stay where they are, and these two are flexible. They can move to different chord shapes, or they can do that melodic stuff, right? So for the first one, I would just be using my first finger there. And that first note there is a hammer-on from the open A string to the second fret. So the sound of the note is you hammering on, right? I'm only picking the first one. Okay? In case you don't know what a hammer-on is. And you strum the whole chord. Then you've got this. My finger hasn't moved. Then and take your first finger off for the second bar. And then you've got time to move to the G shape. Okay, so that's slowly. Then the next riff goes root note, which is the G, 3rd fret on the E. Now there, if you hold the chord shape, or if you leave your second finger on, I'm so much in the habit of muting the A string with my second finger when I play chords that it doesn't come out very clearly. So if you want to hold it like that, drop your thumb back. So you're up. That'll make it sound clearer, right? Whereas I tend to have my thumb up here. It's hit and miss if I nail that right. Hear that? I'm choking the note there with some meat off the back of my second finger. So up to you what you do there. Generally, I'll abandon my second finger and just play with my first, right? So you play that section round twice. Then you come out of that and you play. Okay, so again, it's just a rundown, 2-0, 2-0 on the D and A, right? You've got the tab, so I'm not going to run through all of the notes. I'm sure you can follow that. And you've got the A. So there again. At that point there, you want your second finger to be on the 2nd fret on the G to complete that chord. So you go to that chord twice, okay? Then you're going to do so the open A to the 2nd fret, and then the G. Rings out for a bar and a half. In fact, rings out for 2 bars. But on the 4th beat you go, and then you back around, okay? That's the easy way to do it, okay? Now, once you've nailed that, what you want to do is then just put in some strumming, light strummy stuff. So now we've got that done, let's go for how it's played on the album, okay? And then we'll look at the verse afterwards. Let me play through this in a few chunks, okay? So we'll go for the first couple of bars. Here we go. Etc. Right? So subtly different, and it's more about playing some parts softer than others, and also a slightly different rhythm pattern in terms of the accents to what I thought it was. Okay, so the first part's the same, that's the same, right? But then you're going to play this down, down, up, down, down, up. So you've got 2 really soft, accent, 2 really soft. And then you've got a really subtle, soft upstroke. Alright, and then here's the next bar. So that again, slowly. Alright. right, so that's the first bar. I'll go a bit quicker now because if you've got to this stage, I'm pretty sure you're flying. And in the second bar, when you go to the G, the rhythm's totally different to what I was playing before. So open D, then 3 on the lower part of the G chord, down, up, down, then a full chord. So then you've got that partial G. Alright, so that again. So those two together. Alright, and that is pretty much bang on with how it sounds to me anyway. Then you've got the same 2 chords but slightly different phrasing. Fourth bar same as the second, so the G is the same twice. The only difference with the third bar is you've got that run in there, right? So it's down, down, up, down, up, down. Okay. And the same G part. Next bar is E minor 7 again, before we go into the A. Slightly different again. That's a bit more straightforward. It's just 2 soft, accent, 4 soft. Okay. That's all down, up, down, up. The A's cool. I had this completely wrong in terms of rhythm anyway. And then into that last bit. Right, so the first A plays. So that again. So that is down, up, down, up, down, up. E minor again, similar to the other previous one actually. And then another A. And there's a little run at the end, so it's... That's the same. So that is just 3-0-3 on the top 2 strings. And then you've got this A and D played together with a hammer on to the 2nd fret on the A. And then 2 open. Which is actually, I think, the A, D and G string. And then into the G, right? So that last bit slowly. Now for the G part, the rhythm of this is worth learning as well. It's cool. It goes... You're going to play... So you're doing like a full chord and then the root note, or a partial chord and kind of a partial bit of the low part of the chord, okay? Slowly. So that is just down, down, up, then twice, then together. The second verse is just a variation. You'll pick that up, no worries, okay? Then before it goes into the verse, you'll hear an overdub guitar part acoustically, which goes... and then it's the main bit. And that riff is... down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. Okay? And that's it. Then we're into the verse, right? So we'll just nail through the verse and then you will know this bad boy. And as I say, if you want the solo, comment below and I'll sort that out as well. Another thing I didn't realise with these is I hear a lower root note than I thought. The chords are basically C to D, A minor to G, D, C, A minor, G. Okay, so the chords for C, you would have C with G in the bass, D with F sharp in the bass, A minor with E in the bass, and then a G chord. D again, C, A minor to G. The strumming pattern is kind of the same throughout, so the bones of that would be this. So that is down, down, up, down, down, up. Again, down, down, up, down, down. But what you want to do is obviously put in your own little extra nuances in there, yeah? Light and soft and all the rest of it. There we have it, people. Hope you enjoyed that one. And if you do want the solo bits, comment below. Happy to do those. See you soon. Cheers, bye-bye.